making an impact. I am your host, Chad Porto, fresh off my trip to Iowa. That's how we Ohioans say Iowa. Ohio. And believe me, I quite literally traveled around half the state. There's like 2 cities and a lot of nothing.
We definitely saw a lot of nothing.
There was so much nothing. I thought it was intriguing that there were so many houses like a half a mile apart on a highway. I hope these houses can maintain 70-mile-an-hour fucking driveways because, like, goddamn. Pa's home. Just crashing right in the garage. It was a lovely trip, though. I had time. I had a fun time dealing with the zombie apocalypse out there. It's nice to know that I was just cannon fodder. There we go. Apparently, the COVID makes you stutter. Apparently, I've had COVID for 34 years.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn. Why? So, in your honest opinion, how would you grade our visit?
I had a good time. Dealing with you in person is very much like dealing with you over Discord, Skype, whichever, except I can't mute/hang up on you.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can't just be like, okay, I've had enough of his shit. I'm gone.
I mean, you could have, but you weren't fast enough.
Yeah.
Like you could have easily tried to lose me on the freeway, but I was on your ass.
You were.
I'm a very good driver, and you can tell by that because I got cut off a few times, and I still kept up with you. So
there were some interesting intersections on our route. That were in the highway.
Yeah, like driving 20 or 35 miles an hour across a 70-mile-an-hour 4-lane freeway. What? Why was that a thing?
I don't know.
You couldn't have given us a bridge or something? A tunnel, perhaps? Although it was cool to see the Star Trek museum. That was cool.
There was a lot more there than I really thought there would be.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's just a statue. I'm like, no, there's not. I looked it up a lot. There's so much cool shit. We should have stopped at that restaurant, though. I really wanted to know if they had Star Trek themed stuff.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
I mean, what else do they have going for them?
Right, it's literally so the lady there was super sweet.
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, if you go downtown. And I'm like, down what? It's like 4 streets wide. Like, what do you mean downtown? It was a nice little place, though. Like, I'm definitely going to buy it up one day and turn it into Star Trekville. It's going to happen. I love that the post office had Star Trek stuff on it, too. Yep. I love that everything. I love that she's like, oh yeah, all the stuff in our little gift shop is made by the people in the town. I was like, that's adorable. Well, at least we kept them in business for another year.
The freaking what'd she say? The mayor is like a blacksmith.
Yeah, the mayor's a blacksmith, and like one of the postmen's made the little patches and shit. And I was like, this is adorable. I love this town. This is one of those where everyone knows everyone.
Yep.
I dig it. Then we saw the Field of Dreams field. I'll always mark out for that.
In Riverside, Iowa.
The Field of Dreams field. We don't need to know the town name because it's not a town. It's 16 collective houses in a county and then a baseball field. That doesn't count as a town.
Yeah.
And that had a gift shop, dude. I didn't know that had a gift shop.
I would have assumed. You would have to assume that there'd have to be a gift shop. This is a movie set that people can walk around in, and it's still in a really good condition. They must have a damn gift shop, and they did.
Yeah. And next time we're gonna go back and we're gonna take a tour of the house.
Yeah. Have to call ahead for that one.
Yes, yeah, and I have to assume with all the corona that they're not doing house tours at the moment. Though we will tour that house, and then I will spend a night in there without them knowing. So, Ethan Page just posted a photo on his Twitter account, his behind-the-scenes vlog, and it's a photo of him in his ring gear holding the hand of Swoggle dressed up as AJ Styles. And, like, Jordan Grace is dressed up as, like, a sexy librarian, so, like, you know, that's cool. Yeah. What it do? That's all you gotta know. What it do? Here, I'm gonna show everyone on the stream what it is, and I'm gonna send it to you. I don't feel like being a dick. There you go. All right. With that being said, let's get to it. Right? Like, that's kind of adorable. He's like his little brother.
Super adorable.
Gotta love that. All right, so let's talk about this week's Impact. It was, I would say, mostly up, but kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But for vastly different reasons. Next week, Sting Speaks. We opened the show with a condolences and rip to one Bob Ryder. He was always someone I wanted to interview, so this is kind of disappointing. When we interviewed Jeff Jarrett way back when, every question I had, Jarrett's response was, you have to ask Bob about that. That's terrible, Jarrett. So he was the fountain of knowledge for all things Impact, and you know he's one of the original founders along with Jeff and Jerry Jarrett, and he was with the company until his passing this past week. Definitely one of those names that you remember all the time from the mid 2000s Impact, but he was also a really big hand in WCW back in the 90s.
Ooh.
Yeah, people forget that. He did a lot of the original internet stuff. I think it was him and Chad Damiani. They did a lot of the internet stuff. So he's been involved in because I always considered Impact kind of like the spiritual successor to WCW. So I kind of always seen like he's always been like the Southern wrestling guy in my opinion. So R.I.P. to Bob Reiter. Let's see. So we start off our first segment being the return of Alex Shelley. The Motor City Machine Guns are back, and they took on Triple XL in a pretty entertaining match. What did you think about it?
It was a solid affair. I honestly thought the Triple XL had a pretty decent shot of going over in this one since they're pushing. Impact is pushing that team pretty good right now. But good to see Shelley back and was not out for too long, and it's a decent match.
Yeah, I thought he would be out longer, truthfully.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. So, fun little factoid. We had like almost 18 inches of snow in one day yesterday.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was. I had to go out twice to clear driveways, although I made like a buttload of money. So, like, no complaints. But it's one of those things where, like, yeah, it kind of he's kind of a lot. My father does lot clearings during the winter, so he's got like a big old truck, and he just texted me. I'm heading back out to work at 30:30. I'm just sitting here like, God damn it, old man, what are you doing? 30:30. Sounds like a joke from The Office.
Midnight 30. I think I've heard that somewhere before, but I didn't know that people actually use that in real life conversation.
I think he's doing it more to be funny because he's always trying to be a clown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's always looking for the jokes. By the by, for everyone at home, I'm wearing my one of my, actually, because I got two, one of my Field of Dreams shirts. It's snug. I like it.
Solid shirts.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Speaking of pretty
Much
solid,
better than the Star Trek ones.
You don't like the Star Trek ones?
I mean, the Star Trek ones are fine. It's just there's a definitely the Field of Dreams ones definitely feel more comfortable.
I have not worn my Star Trek ones yet. Although I'm very much excited about wearing my black shirt. My Star Trek security.
Starfleet security.
Yes. Star Trek security. What am I? Fucking noob. Starfleet security. Dodoy. So we hop on over to Ken Shamrock getting suspended for his attack on D'Lo Brown last week, and I'm just sitting there going, it's 1998 all over again. What'd you think of Shamrock getting suspended? Do you think this is building up to something? Maybe a Kurt Hungle return?
Ooh.
Well, everyone else is getting everyone else, so maybe fucking Impact can get him. That'd be nice.
I mean, it's possible, though Angle's not really in the best physical condition anymore.
Actually, he actually is. There's
really?
Yes, there's a photo going around. I'm not gonna look it up. Y'all at home can do it. Yeah, he's got his 6-pack back, and like he looks fantastic shape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did he do the Ken Shamrock workout?
No, I don't think he stuck a needle in his butt. Yeah, Kenny boy. If Ken has to pass a PED test, I would not put money on him succeeding.
No.
I'm just gonna throw that one out there. Oh look, ESPN is now tweeting about Sting's AEW debut. By the by, folks, Sting made his AEW debut today. I can't get any love for Impact anymore, apparently. God damn it. All right. So we move on. Johnny Bravo has confronted Larry D for shooting him at his wedding. Tommy Dreamer interjects and tells Larry that he's taking him to the police station. Larry knocks out Tommy with the best hand in the house and flees the scene with AC Romero. I'm just going to say, if Tommy Dreamer's a cop / detective / judge / lawyer / wrestler / booker, you should have seen that coming.
A little bit.
You know? More to the point, Josh Matthews was like on commentary, is there anything Tommy Dreamer can't do? And I wanted to just go, not headline a card that he's booking. I say that with full respect and full acknowledgement that if they were to put the Impact World title on him, I wouldn't even have a problem with it.
I'd be good.
It'd be an upgrade over some of the last ones.
Mm-hmm.
We then get our second match of the night, our first women's match. It is Renee Michelle and Killer Kelly, not to be confused with Kelly Klein, who has a similar kind of garb and name stylings, taking on Jordan Grace and Jazz, who comes out with like some kind of Shogun samurai mask, which was just dope as shit. I didn't get your opinion about this last week. Thoughts on Jazz being Jordan Grace's partner?
I dig it. I was surprised that that was who they revealed her partner to be, and the pairing fits. The pairing fits real well. So I'm excited about it. I hope Jazz sticks around for quite a while, gets maybe a tag title reign under her belt. I'm all for it.
I dig it. I was always very much one of the fans of Jazz during her WWE run, and she's like 50, I think. But she didn't look it, like physically.
No. She looks great.
Yeah, she moves really well still. You know, and this was one of those things where, again, she was never the most athletic wrestler in WWE at the time. Like, you had Trish Stratus, who was pretty nimble, and Victoria was pretty nimble. Don't even come at me with the Lita was athletic. Lita was not athletic. Lita was fucking stiff. She did a moonsault, people. Like, and every time she did it, it looked like she was in the middle of a car crash because her neck just whiplashed. No wonder she broke it. Jesus Christ. I'm not a Lita fan. She's 48. Jazz is 48, not 50. But still, you know, Jazz was one of those wrestlers who was powerful, knew how to use her feet, and you know, that kind of thing. You know, it's like with the Mike Tyson boxing match. That's kind of a style that does not age hard. Like, you get to keep that for a while. That's why Taker was still so good up until his late 40s, because his style wasn't really that explosive. He did a jumping, cupping hand to the chin.
Yes,
I never knew what the fuck.
Really clothesline.
It was hell no, it was a close. Like, no, if someone was like, hey, you mean a sleeping clothesline? I'll be like, bitch, you mean when he massaged the other guy's face as he was doing a backflip? No, that's not a clothesline. What the fuck are you talking about? But that was really it. And like, whenever you decide to do something stupid like jump over the top rope and hit Sim Snuka. So, like, you know, Jazz is gonna age really well, and it's great to see her back. She's the progenitor to the Jordan Grace type, the big power wrestler in the women's division. So it's cool to see them together. I really like this match. Killer Kelly was awesome. She has like a great striking style, which I think really benefited her. And Renee Michelle, I don't think she's overtly talented. Like, she's not very athletic by any means, and she doesn't have that one quality that makes her stand out. Like, Jordan Grace probably couldn't run the 40 in under 5 seconds. Like, you know, like, let's be honest. But she got power. You know, Jazz is not going to, you know, do the flippity-doo-dahs, but she got power. You know, Killer Kelly probably has the vertical leap of a small gnat, but she got striking. Renee Michelle got the assets. So, you know, there's something. She's good looking as hell. Like, hoy. But as far as in-ring talent goes, she's not near the top. But I also don't think she needs to be, because I think a great wrestling roster is one of variety. And I think someone like Renee Michelle is competent enough in the ring. Like, she's not bad by any means. She's certainly better than people like, what's the crazy bitch's name that went to NXT with the wedding and the sloppy face, and she's dating Zack Ryder for some reason. Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
She's terrible. I love her, but Allie, she's terrible. She is a god-awful wrestler. Su Young's fine when you're throwing her in tables, as awful as that sounds. But, like, they're not heavy hands. I think Ray Michelle's better than them, so I really hope both of these talents stick around. And the tag team from last week or the week before, the Sea Stars, I think is what they were called, with Ashley Vox and her sister. I think it's her sister. Like, I hope they stick around too. I like all of these new additions. Like, these were 5 new great talents: the Sea Stars, Killer Kelly, and Renee Michelle, and of course Jazz. So, like, this Knockouts tag team title division, super fucking strong. Love it so hard. Plus, there's also a great little moment with Alicia, but we'll get there. I don't want to spoil the lead. Jordan Grace and Jazz defeat Renee Michelle. We then get a really killer promo from All Ego, cutting on Machine Gun, talking about how he's not going to be played for a fool and whatnot. And he challenges Carl Anderson to a match at Final Resolution, an Impact Plus event. We will be watching and reviewing it the following Tuesday after it airs. Eventually, Carl Anderson accepts the challenge. Okay, like, that's it. No more.
Yeah.
Moving on. This is this segment I just adored for all the right and wrong reasons. So Alicia's kind of hanging out. And then Tennille and Caleb with a K walks up. And Tennille's like, hey, Caleb, what's that great quote about fashion that I like? And Caleb's like, I'll look it up for you. And Tennille's like, Alicia, are you even listening to me? And then all of a sudden you just see her dart out of screen. And then you just hear her screaming as the camera pans over and she's on the back of Sami Callihan. She's like, ah! Ah! And then like one 5'7" ginger dude holds her by the waist and she's flailing. I've got to get you. I thought it was great. I thought it was adorable. I thought it was so sweet. Like Alicia's 4'10", all right?
Yeah.
But I love when she gets spunky. She's just like kicking at him. And then she's like, Eddie's gonna beat you up! Eddie's gonna beat your ass! She's so adorable. It'd be like if a 5-year-old was like, I'm gonna nuke the world. Oh, it's just so cute. But I do love Alicious. Like, this was a really fun little segment for me. But, and here's what I'm gonna say about this. I believe Impact's best rivalry in the last 8 years, since Styles and Daniels left, has been Eddie and Sami.
Yes, I agree.
I do not subscribe to the notion that too much is too much, especially when you have such a great rivalry. If you're going to do more Eddie and Sami, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here, up and over. So, we saw last week that Eddie got smashed in the face with a bat. And it was done really kind of cheaply, in my opinion, because they're like, oh, they cut away at the last second to be, oh my God, I can't believe. And then like Eddie's bleeding. I'm like, for the courtesy of those with flash photography. You couldn't do that in a arena full of people. So
no, you really couldn't.
But still, that being said, it was still pretty fantastic that they're going off into this angle again. So like, I'm 100% in on this, Sami Eddie revival rivalry. So revival rivalry. We then go to Johnny Swinger versus Cody Deaner. Fun little match. But then Eric Young and
Joe Doring.
Thank you, Joe Doring. They interrupt. Eric Young starts talking, so I stopped paying attention.
That's fair. I don't know why they decided to stick Eric Young with Joe Doring. To me, if you are trying to build up someone like an Eric Young to being one of the more dangerous people on your roster, you don't stick him with a big, heavy bruiser. You let him go out there, you let him beat the shit out of people. Joe Doring is taking all the credibility away from Eric Young. I don't know why they are doing the Ace Austin, Madman Fulton treatment with Eric Young at this point.
Did you say that Eric Young Joe Doring is taking away all the credibility from Eric Young?
Yes.
I have a similar but different opinion. I think Eric Young's taking all the credibility away from Joe Doring.
I mean, that's also fair.
This is one of those where I get you don't know much about Joe Doring. But I've been following Joe Doring's All Japan career for a while. And he's as good as Stan Hansen. I don't care if you all want to go blasphemy on me. That's a fact. He's good. And I think they could have introduced him in a much better way. Because Joe Doring is a guy you can build a company around. He may not be the most original promo guy, but in the ring, he's every bit as good as someone like, not necessarily Stan Hansen, who was I just thinking of? He's one of those guys that can really, like Michael Elgin, that's who I was thinking of. Like Michael Elgin was someone that we didn't like as a person. And we didn't like, as a promo. But as a wrestler, we all knew that Michael Elgin was special.
Yes.
That's Joe Doring. He's not a bad promo, but he's not a great promo. And he's a decent human being, so like there's that. but he's really going to shine in the ring, and I think Impact is kind of missing out on in-ring guys at the moment. So I think that's going to be a big get for them.
Mm.
Plus, Doring has ties to Scott D'Amore, and I think D'Amore helped train him back in the day, so there's obviously that. We get a really great promo, though, after that from... Oh, wait, no, sorry. We got to talk about Knockouts champion Jan Pratso and Kimberly confront Father James Mitchell. They asked him last week if they could turn Su Yung back into Susie. Mitchell admits that he hasn't been able to find her. Pratso has something in mind and tells Mitchell to be ready as they head for the ring. Susie Busters! I'm afraid to know. I don't know what she... Korean zombie? No, that's an MMA fighter. And I'll tell you what, the Korean zombie is a hell of an MMA fighter at that. So we then go next week. Not next week. We go to the next segment. It's Cody Deaner, and he cuts a really great fucking promo here. He talks about how, you know, he and Eric Young used to travel together, how when he was in wrestling school, Eric Young was there every day. And he's like, you know, Cousin Jake, this is fucking personal, man. And next week, I'm going to show Eric Young that I am not a nobody. And I hope to God they do, because Cody Deaner is one of those guys, he's so likable. And he's really, really good in the ring. But he's kind of shoehorned into that comedy gimmick. And I think you can kind of do, like, a cross between, like, Bradshaw and James Storm in the drunk who can fight motif. And I think you could do that with Cody. And I think if you have Cody Deaner defeat Eric Young here, I really think this could be a thing that could take off. I think Deaner could become a legitimate star here, but I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on this, because it's very possible. Right? It's always possible that they just end up fucking having him get dropped in 3 minutes and putting over Eric Young even further, even though we don't want Eric Young. We don't like Eric Young. And Eric Young serves no purpose other than to antagonize people from actually watching the show. So don't fuck around. I'm just saying. Just let him go over. We then get a promo in the ring. Deanna Pratso and Kimberly basically, you know, call out Su Yung. She comes down. They get into a little kerfuffle. Then the Undead Brides come out, and James Mitchell starts cackling like James Mitchell does. And then the Undead Brides take Su Yung into the back, and James Mitchell's like, I got a payday. So yeah, thoughts on this? This is your realm. You like the spooky ooky wrestling stuff.
I like the spooky ooky wrestling. I like James Mitchell.
Who doesn't like James Mitchell? Even
How
God
do you not like James?
Loves James Mitchell. And James Mitchell's the devil.
He is. I don't really care about Su Yung and the Undead Bridesmaids taking out Su Yung doesn't really make sense, because I feel like they're supposed to be working for her. It's like if the Druids, and not one that's secretly Steve Austin under the hood, attacking the Undertaker. It doesn't make sense.
You mean like what happened at WrestleMania when the Druids attacked the Undertaker?
Did that happen this past WrestleMania?
Yes, it did.
I did not watch that match.
I can tell. Yeah, the AJ Styles Undertaker match. Styles was like, I got a surprise for you, Dead Man. Or maybe it was Gallows and Anderson. But then, like, they were outside of, like, a farmhouse, I guess. And, like, the barn wall falls down. There's all the Druids. And Taker's like, oh, you want... And Taker's dressed as American Badass Taker. So, like, this doesn't make any sense. So he's like, oh, you want to do this? And then he beats the shit out of all the Druids. Literally what happened. So, I mean, you're not wrong. It's still dumb. The only way this makes sense is if they kind of explain that Su Yung is a byproduct of James Mitchell. Like, kind of like how like Tommy as a Green Ranger had the putties under his control, but he wasn't with the putties, so to speak.
Right.
So like maybe she's like an extension of that, and if that ends up being the case, then cool. But also, this is why these dumb fucking supernatural storylines have no business in wrestling, because they don't make any fucking sense. No more boom-I-A. No more boom-I-A. We then move on to a conversation with Chris Bay and Moose. Chris Bay's like, "Hey, Moose, how you doing, buddy?" And Moose is like, "I'ma stomp you under the ground." And Chris Bay's like, "That seems unnecessarily violent." So basically what they're doing is they're building up to a final resolution match, even though Swan lost. Not Swan. Chris Bay lost, I guess. So it's Bay versus Swan at final resolution. But they're building up the longer arc with Moose going for the title, and it really feels like he's going to be the one who ultimately takes the title from Swan. Now, the question is, if that's the case, why are they putting Bay in the middle of this in the title match?
That's a great question.
Right? I have some things going on here in my head, and I don't know. By the by, WWE won a award for COVID-19 awareness. I guess when your entire company gets sick with COVID-19, you become pretty aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's like shooting up an abortion clinic and claiming you saved a bunch of babies' lives. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
I'm sure some people feel that's how that works.
Yeah, well, some people are dumb. I.e., American Idol still exists, so clearly some people are dumb.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson accepts, and who cares? We then get X Division champion Rohit Raju versus Crazy Steve in an X Division championship match. Rohit wins, but he cheated. So,
yeah,
kind of shocking. I was like, what? No. What? He cheated.
Rohit's such a stand-up guy.
It was a solid match, but it was supposed to further build up to the TJP stuff, but TJP was on the show talking shit to Brian Myers. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's so. First of all, I don't know why Crazy Steve got involved with Brian Myers in the first place, and then there's some tangential relationship now. TJP's hanging out with Crazy Steve, and TJP has an issue with Myers, and Myers actually took our advice and kept the black ring attire, so kudos.
Speaking of kudos, Fall Out Bob's like, hey, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. That should be the name of their tag team, kudos. He's accusing them of stealing his money that he stole from Hernandez. I'm pretty sure you're not in the right here, Fala.
No.
Kiera and Tasha admit to the accusation, but lie to Fala, saying they don't have the cash on them. They strike a deal with Fala to give the cash back to him next week. What? Why? Brian Myers then laughs at Crazy Steve for coming up short in his X Division Championship match against Rohit. TJP then defends Steve and challenges Myers to a match next week. Oh, that's always the match I wanted to see. Yeah. We then get hype for next week. Eric Young is taking on Cody Deaner. Brian Myers is taking on TJP. And Josh Alexander goes one-on-one with Chris Sabin. Plus, it's the final first-round match of the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament as Deanna Purrazzo and Kimberly take on Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. Yay. Then the main event. Final segment. Chris Bay versus Willie Mack. And Bay's got a world title match at Final Resolution. Clearly, they want
so you're saying that Bay won the match.
Yes, and won convincingly. Dominant. Wait. Willie Mack defeated Chris Bay. That doesn't seem right. And like, there wasn't anything in this match that would make you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Willie Mack just beat him. That's it.
Yeah. That's literally it.
Like, Moose shows up after, and that's it. It was dumb. Bay ends up holding up the title at the end of the night because Moose takes out Rich Swann. And I'm just kind of sitting here going, what? So I am, as always, befuddled. Befuddled, confuddled, and besfoodled. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Overall thoughts on this week's show?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. There was some good stuff in here. There was some definite head scratching stuff, as there always is with just about everything these days.
Yep.
The lack of Rosemary and Taya, so that was disappointing. Didn't really get any more for them about the whole Jonathan E. Bravo angle.
Well, we know Larry D shot him.
Yeah.
Or Lawrence D.
Lawrence D
shot him, not Larry D. We don't know why. We don't know anything about it, and I'm still pointing out the fact that he wasn't standing where he needed to be standing for him to shoot him. But who needs video evidence? Whatever. I think I'd give this week a C+.
I'd say that's pretty fair.
It had some decent promos. Had some pretty stylistic matches, but there were still some things in here that I think could have been tweaked and twerked and improved upon.
Yeah.
But then again, that's like asking that's like me asking these guys to change how they book, because this is clearly how they roll as far as booking styles go. So I'm not that surprised or even befuddled that week after week we get some glaring issues with how they do things. So it is what it is, and you just kind of got to roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
So next week we'll see how it goes. I think final resolution's in 2 weeks on Impact Plus. So we'll be sure. I
believe you're correct.
We'll be sure to check that out when it happens. So Trey, Dez, and Wentz, their future has been confirmed by saying that Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz will be going to WWE, and Trey Miguel will not.
Poor Trey.
That's pretty fucking funny. They came in Impact together, they left together, and then Wentz and Dez were like, fuck you, later. Now, there's always a chance that Trey gets hired on eventually, but now rumors are that AEW has interest in him, and I'm sure Impact will want him back if that's an opportunity. Who knows what's going to happen? But, if you're Trey, you got to be upset. Like, you guys leave Impact as a trio, and one, your boys are taking a discount to wrestle for NXT. NXT talent usually make around $30,000 a year. And that's not including expenses. Like, you're more than likely going to be living off of $18,000 a year. So, like, Trey's got to, be kind of happy. Like, he can at least get more money out of that. But, like, man, like, that's got to suck. Goddamn. Nothing else, though, that I'm aware of came across the wire outside of, of course, Sting showing up in AEW. And there's apparently a lot of, like, Impact talent tweeting about it. Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer, they were tweeting about it. And Don Callis was on commentary for the main event, which was Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. Still going on. But, yeah, so that's our show. Zach, any final thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
RealNerdcorp.com. RealNerdcorp.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCorp, on Instagram at RealNerdcorp. You can find Zach on his personals at DeviantArt and Instagram at Radiance2020, RADIANCE2020. Right?
That's right.
You can find me on Twitter at ChadNerdcorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut, Chadsphotohut. For Zachary Tyler, PP Duncan, I'm Chad Porta. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of Making an Impact, your one-stop weekly shop for all the things shop in the world of Impact Wrestling. Be sure to check out the website, realnerdcorp.com, REALNerdcorp.com. As always, watch more wrestling, and Zachary, say goodnight.
Good night, Trey Miguel.